Yeah.
All right. We'll start off with the trumpet, as usual. Alright. First and foremost, we're going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakadash. Double honors to the apostle, elders, and bishops of the great miracle and tells the truth. Honors and salutations to the elect, and to the men that died on the work, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, to the son of our spirits. To the men, women, and children that believe in the true name of the Father and the Son. The Father's name is Yahweh, he exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, he is the deliverer. Let us come into deliverance out of this captivity. Lord's willing, we're able to be delivered from the upcoming things that's to come. You know, the Lord is showing us each and every day, man. You know, each and every day he's showing us how much more we have to draw near to him. You know? He's removing certain things from your life. You can't fight against the word. If you want to do that, so be it. You know, you gotta like matter of fact, Brother Prashad, you grab the etymology of the word humble.
Humble.
We're going to deal with that word right now. Be humble. You know? A lot of people can't be humble, man. They need a reaction, they need this, they got to explain. To be honest, to be humble, Yahweh Shah was the most humblest example that you can have in your face. But even with him, you still have men bucking up against him, right? You know?
Khan. The word humble originates from the Latin word humilis.
See that, and that goes back to Latin. Humilis. In this lifetime, matter of fact, hey, excuse me, brother, excuse me. Can I ask you something? If somebody humiliates you, if somebody humiliated you, right, what would you do, bro? Nah, like, if somebody, like, you know, you got pride and everything, you got an ego, not ego, but you're a man, right? So you stand for something. So if somebody humiliated you for what you believe in, how would you feel, bro? Huh? Well, how would you react to it? They were fight, right? You can't even hear the brother what he said.
Oh, this madness.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, be upset.
Exactly.
You know?
So, how you think Yahweh shot for? He said he was being, like, frustrated. Things of that nature. But, like, and that's all that, baby. That's a beautiful spirit, man. Not probably. You got a beautiful spirit because it could have been like, I would have fucked them up.
Right.
I would have did. And that goes into, like, vengeance is mine. You know? Because you got a lot of people out here on these highways and hedges. You know? That's, they're just seeking for the truth. That's why the Lord puts you out. That's why you gotta stand for the last good. I'm asking someone else that too. How would they feel? Because they said, what did it say, brother?
It says the word humble originates from the Latin word humilis, meaning lowly or on the ground.
Where Yahweh Shah said, lowly or on the ground. Where we at? And he came from the heavens to be put down here. To be put down on the ground. You know? That should tell you a lot right there. And then like he came into a sense, right? Where he was underneath like the Roman captivity. Look up, yo, just look up them dudes, man. Look at the authority that they had and that they still have. You could be like, oh, that's the Roman people, but yo, Yahweh came in the sense like, listen, I'm not trying to upset your what you have going on, because this is what you're supposed to do. I'm gonna let my people know that you're the next ones. Still listen to what you say, as long as it goes to the scriptures. You know, you listen to that, but you don't. Certain things you just gotta be like, listen, I ain't going with that, man. And that's one of the main things is the RFID microchip. That's the main joint. You know? That's one thing. Can't go with it. Can't rock it.
You say, I can't go for that. Can't
Right.
go for that. No.
No, can't do it.
Yeah.
No, can't do.
You know?
Can't do that.
Right. Right.
You know, but like, listen, man, like, honestly, and that's also showing you their humility. Their humility. Hey, excuse me, brother. Excuse me, brother. Can I ask you a question real fast? If you don't mind, brother. The word humility, that's what we're talking about, right? Would you be able to be humiliated in front of other people?
No.
What would you do? If you
Depending
was
on-
humiliated.
Depending on the scenario,
Okay.
I personally have one with self to know that whatever judgment somebody else has
Okay.
is not my concern. Your opinion is yours. So I will respect it, but it's yours. It's not mine. I cannot interact or change people's thoughts and or feelings. So with that being said, I can only govern mine,
Okay.
and that's how I go about my day.
No doubt. That's the question, brother.
No problem. You have a
No,
good one.
thank you. No doubt, brother. No doubt, brother. No doubt. Now, let the brother walk as I made my touch. Same man just had black belt.
Right. Yo, that dude is off, man. Way
I
off.
would.
Right.
Almost.
Yeah.
Because now you with the LGBTs.
Right.
And your leg fucked up.
Right.
So,
He all jacked up.
you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
there's a couple motherfuckers else too.
Yeah.
Cause like, yo, man, humility. That's why I'm so heavy on this right now. Yo, look at your outside. Ultimate example of humility. That's why right now when he comes back, right? The Romans and everybody that put their hands on him, he's justified.
Real quick, this is the book of Proverbs,
Get back into that motherfucker.
chapter 16, verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty.
Yo, he that is slow to anger, man. That's yo. Look how many times Yahweh tried to anger. Look at Yahweh that created all things every season. Like right now, we're in the season of springtime, and it's
Yeah.
like a transition of power. It's like what was it last night? Last night. No, the night before. It was a thunderstorm. And I remember walking away from the job and everything. From the bull, like I ain't gonna say too much, but he gave me a umbrella. There was a dude that came in the jar, he was soaking wet. But the one boy, he was like, yo, you want umbrella? I was like, nah, mister. Boy, he was like, nah, man. I said, do you need it? He was like, fuck no. I said, okay. I said, thank you. So I bring it back to you. The next day I come in with it. Right? And it was purple. You never know who might really done it. We just said that that man wasn't that easy. Just
Wow.
because you see him out there, the Lord got a spirit on everybody. Everybody has a judgment. That's another reason why you're not supposed to look down on somebody that's the lowest. Because Paul said that I was a base, I was this, I was that. So now you know how to conduct yourself when you get into that position. So you'll never ever in your life look down on somebody else. Other people. And then on top of that, you're able to be spiritual. Because you was here. Then you get put here. And in between, you got to get back. You know? Just like Israel as a whole. We was up here. That's what the Lord wanted for us. He put us all the way down here. But throughout the ages, He showed us, well, this is what you're supposed to do. This like, you always leave a remnant, man. You know? The Lord always leaves a remnant, man. Yeah, bro.
Says, and he that ruleth his spirit, then he that taketh the city.
That's right. So he that ruleth his spirit. If you're able to rule your spirit, it was a great ass man. And you got people that crash out. Real quick. They crash out without a doubt. Now you gotta think about your house. When Yahushua was walking this earth, after all the reincarnations that he had, right? So when he gets here in this time, about 2,000 years ago, over 2,000 years ago, when he came, he could have crashed out. He did one time, and he beat the people asses with the belt. You got churches now, they doing that. They got the and this is how you know it's so wicked. Because you got the men, well, you got the women, first of all, they're bound down like this to the pulpit. This pulpit is bullshit in this time, right? But they bow down like this. Now you got, they don't have no shoes on. So now the men is bowed down behind the woman like this, like you kissing her feet, so it's like you bowing down to the woman. Then you got the pastor coming around the belt, spanking the woman's asses. Yo, Yahushua.
That's all.
Matter of fact, yo, grab that. Still some more. Grab that in Yahushua came. He was doing the pastor, Second Temple, when he whooped the people's asses. And that's what they're trying to do. But they're trying to make it seem like that's why you gotta be a spiritual man. You have to go to scriptures. You have to understand it. You have to respect them.
And Yahushua had a reason for it too, right? You just doing that as a routine thing in these churches. That's off.
Right.
Putting your hands on another man's wife, right?
That's crazy.
Or just even not being brotherly, right? Because how are you brotherly with somebody? You don't rule over them with a rod iron, right? Lest you be judged. You know, that's way off. They doing that. That's they bug outs, man.
Yeah, they was making usually of their own people,
Right.
of the church. Freely give, freely
Right.
receive,
Yeah.
freely
And
give.
that's why Yahushua put that belt to ass.
And yo, but that's what I was saying, because it's like they're trying to use it as justification for why the reason why they're doing it.
Yeah.
You better respect your woman. Well, yo, it tells you in the scriptures. If you go into a church like that, you see that man, you better run up and fucking
Right.
do it.
letting some other man put their hands on your
you
wife.
had a heart. These men was like
That's
this,
way off.
behind the woman. I'm talking about their feet, and the
Yeah.
feet is the end of something. That's the end of all things. The feet. You got your head, when you go all the way down to the bottom, your feet, that's the end. And that's what you're supposed to stand on. So if you like fighting and everything, somebody sweep off your feet, that's the end.
That's why I say if the woman's learn anything, let her learn at home from her husband.
That's right. What she's supposed to learn. The truth. Yo, the bully, there's a lot of bullies out there, man. But the bullies gonna get rid of the bullying. Esau's the bully. Esau's the ultimate bully of this place, but the Lord gave it to him for him to have that.
What they call him, the gooch.
Yeah, that's a good bully.
Yeah.
Hey,
But yo, what Biggie said, Biggie said, "Goops, take them round back to the factory." I see.
and see, Yahweh Shai, he kept his composure.
Right.
When he was getting detained, he said, "What? I could bring 12 legions of
Right.
angels right now." You know, so a man with all them guns or all them weapons, and Esau's about to come in like a flood. You know, because he know that he had but a short time. Right? We're not taking matters into our own hands.
Right.
You know, we not, you know, that's why even the incident with Peter, you know, when he drew his sword, you know, Yahweh tried to stop him. Said he that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, like the brother told me, you know, being blamed, that's part of being blameless. Because all we're doing is teaching the word.
Right.
And they want to kill us
Right.
for that.
Yeah.
You know?
They hate us with a passion. Don't want to see us survive, right? That's why they say all manners of wickedness about us. That's why they fire us. That's why they do all these things. But guess what? That's not going to stop prophecy. And it's not going to stop your downfall. And it's not going to stop your judgment. Matter of fact, you have marked yourself for a bitter judgment. You know? You can't do anything for the truth, against the truth, but for the truth. So whatever you do to us, hey, that much more is going to be done to you. But Yahweh Shai says, vengeance is mine. Saith Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So like the brother said, we don't do anything, to be marked for blame, right? We're waiting on the Lord. We're waiting on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. He's going to fight the battle, you know?
Exodus 14:14.
Huh?
Matter of fact, can you got that?
No, that's Exodus.
Exodus
Uh,
14:14. But start off just to get a better understanding with what was going on in that time. Cause yo, guess what? We're coming into the second Exodus. You know, the Lord had to fight for us. We're not, yo. You look at our bodies, man. We get shot by a gun. Your body is full real fast. You look like a fucking fool. But guess what? You're being taught through the prophets. That's like any other time. That's why you got prophets, man. They tell you, yo, this time period and this and that. They're great with that. They let you know about the time period that they was in and everything like that. So they tell you like, yo, listen, man. You know what? If you keep going this way, this is going to happen. Abraham. Now, Abraham was trying to help out Lot. Because that was his nephew, right?
Come.
You know? So, yo, you think a uncle don't want to see, you don't want his nephew to be effed up. So you warned him, man. And we come out here like, yo, how you say here in Philadelphia? Yo, home. And that's what a lot of places. All right, so we're your uncles. We're your uncles. Uncle coming out here talking on the highways and everything, telling you, yo, if you don't change your ways, if you don't trust in you, how about Shema Shah be giving you the name and all that? So if you don't trust in that man, listen, what's going to happen to you? We read about it. We see it. And you're starting to see these things happen now. And also, it's a warning. Yo, that's actually showing love to your people, man. You know? They just want to be entertained and all that. That's a hurt piece.
You know, because I was thinking about this on the way too. Like, you know, the Lord, we spoke about it. The Lord chastised those he loved. You know? So, if he's dealing with those that got it, we're going through it first. We know what's coming. You know? So like the brother, you know, you're giving that warning. And that's a sense of love. You know, you see somebody, you know, in front of, you know, crossing the street, the lights is green. Like, yo, get back, like you're gonna get hit. You know, but when you get hit, it's you know what I mean? But we go through that chastisement because we understand it. And then what? We're remorseful. Damn, you know what? I slipped up because we all fall short. We all deserve death a long time ago. You know? But he's having us keep learning, you know what? I got you. I'm gonna pick you up. But it's coming to a times like, you know, that's why we say, you know, hopeful. Because, hey, man, that time, hey, something else you continue to make. The Lord's going to stop talking. You know, and that's when it's going to be scary.
Yo, you got a lot of men, right? Sorry, your brother being wrong. Every man in Israel, right? You got, when you come in, you get the Hebrew name. That's where the tongue comes from. Coming back into your lot and everything. You know, but I say it like this. I know a dude, he killed his own brother. He said self-defense and everything, but he was never calling himself a soldier back then like that. But after that, now you call yourself a soldier. That's a gorilla, man. Gorilla Hebrew. You know, and that nigga called himself a gorilla, so that means he don't care about you, man. A lion, you say the lion of Judah and everything like that. That lion cares. You know, you got the sheepdogs, you got all that. You know, look at nature. You look at nature and animals and everything, how they treat each other. You all have to eat off everything. Then also you have what? You have a shepherd, which is over all animals, man. A shepherd. You know, and that's when Yahweh said, I'm the good shepherd. Yahweh gave him that position. You know? Keep going on that humble brother, humble the son.
Exodus.
Humble. And yo, let's hop in the next. But we about to exit this place. Lord's willing we be a part of that number, man. You know? And brothers want that. And why you want to be held down in this place? And furthermore, we deserve it. Believe that. We deserve it. You know? That's why we're here.
It says, the dictionary too, it says having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. It says insignificant.
Yo, and that's what the brother was saying. No, I ain't nobody, so I understand why brothers say that. Because yo, back in the you know, you go to slavery here, because that's where we're at. We're in Babylon. We were brought here in cargo slave ships, and there were certain men that was here already. And those men were able to come and take over you. How was they able to do that? Because you went off. So now it's called self-accountability. You know? So when anything happens to yourself, you gotta point it to yourself. That's one thing I learned from a brother who told me. He was like, man, he said, when you do this, he said, you got this many fingers pointing back at you. I was like, oh shit. I said, you know what, bro? You're right. And I dug it. And from that point on, like, yo, that's like, Listen, that's a life experience. You can't point the finger at nobody. That's like you trying to point the finger at the Lord. Wow, we here. Yo, you did this. Nope, you did it to yourself. All these nations, they over us. But what did you do? This what you do. This is you right here. You're pointing at them. These are the nations taking you over because you ain't trusting the Lord. Real shit. You ain't trusting the Lord, man. The Lord never leaves you, Lord. He never forsakes you. You gotta have accountability. In all walks of life. You know what I'm saying? All walks of life. It's easy to point the finger at, oh, this nation got us. Oh, you saw they doing that thing, so what? Let them do it. That's what they supposed to do. What can I do, Lord, to better myself? Turn back to you. That's what all the prophets do. Every single prophet that ever walked this planet to the same thing.
Hey, and just know, this is being in this thing, being in this truth is a gift. We can't do enough.
Great gift.
Yeah, we can't do enough each minute, every day to praise and magnify, glorify the name of Yahweh Bashim Shai. So, again, it's not about us. It's about Him through His Spirit, power, grace, and mercy that we are even in this truth. And it's through His perfect gift that we endure to the end. Nothing else. It ain't about what we're going to do, even though we got to do the work. But at the end of the day, it's the water Yahweh Bashim Shai. Because, yeah, if we think we want to be able to meet the Yahweh Bashim Shai standards, we just ask for that faith. We just ask for more faith. We ask, cast us not away from thy presence. I put the video and said, listen, I pray this every day, and I pray for the camp. So, in Psalm 51, it says, cast me not away from thy presence. I say, cast us not away from thy presence. Take not thy Holy Spirit from us. Because, again, what can be given can also be taken away. So that humble and that humility is extremely important, because people get to that pride and they think it's because of what they did. Look how many followers I got. Look what I did. Look how many people I got in my camp. Look what I did. So, hey, what does it say too in this world? What goes up must come down.
Yeah, brother.
It's a heavy point. It's also when Yahweh Shai was in the Garden of Gethsemane. He asked the Lord, why is thou forsaken? He felt forsaken. And that was the first spirit of the creator, so one more us. We don't want him to forsake us. Even though we all fall short. That's his mercy, but to the rest that's not remorseful or don't want to take heed, there's repercussions for it.
Hey, you see how many bug outs out here in this world? Straight bug outs. And guess what? We were once those bug outs too. But now, putting on that new man, and we see what this world is really about, and you want to go back to that? A dog returning to his vomit? So what does it say? You lose everything here, hey, you're going to gain back double.
That's brother speaking on like in life, right? You have brothers that come up from the Lord when He came, and Yahweh Shai. You talk to the highest one in this society, to the lowest one. He was able, how would you say, get jiggy with it, right? He was able to do that. But you got some men here that they're not trying to hear that. This is a man. I'm looking at the brother, you don't dig it. When you see the brother, weekend and weekend and everything, you gotta understand. what levels that men are above the society, where they came from. Because the Lord, when he came to gather his 12, right, they was from all walks of life. I was fishers, you know, I was fishing. That's what we're doing in this lifetime, we're fishing. We're throwing the real out, we're like this. No matter what sea, but your house out, when he came to the net out there, he cast it, that's why he got to hit that net. That's why he able to speak on here on these terms. Throwing the net out there. Bringing that back. The house was like, yo, don't cast on this side, cast on this side. Same ocean, wherever you was at. They cast it. And what happened? They brought all the fish back. You don't ever know who's hearing the word. But your job is to speak. You know? But back you up, brother, with the whole project. Salah. This is Proverbs 11 and 2. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11 and verse 2. It says, matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, a false balance is an abomination to Yahweh, but a just weight is his delight. When pride cometh, then cometh shame, but with the lowly is wisdom. Because you gotta understand, like, yo, where you at? You know, like a lot of people out here, they prideful, man. They can't have no shame. Shame really shows you your character. That shows you your strength. Like you in the gym working out. Everybody, oh, he can lift all this and this and this and that. They thinking he's a fucking incredible hawk. But you don't think that man has shame? That's why it's right to still your own, you work in your own pace. Your own pace. You know? I'm telling you the truth. Everything right now is, everybody is, they want to be this guy, that guy, that guy. Okay, you could be that guy. That's what you want. That's what you got. But the ultimate guy is going to the sky. That's why they want to say, oh, I cracked the sky. You ain't cracked nothing. What you say, man? Who's going to open that sky, man? That's a firmament up there. And there's a firmament underneath it. So when he come through, everything's going to be justified. All these people that walk up and down, they don't even understand. But the point is, the man that came and would put on the cross free, that's strength. That's strength. Crashing out, doing all that bullshit now, that's not strength. That's a pussy. Strength is just straight. What is up? That's real strength.
Wow. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 14, start at 9. I'll start at 8. And Yahweh, 7. And he took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Egypt, and captains over every one of them. And Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt.
Matter of fact, ooh, still coming.
and he pursued after the children of Israel.
See that? Now, matter of fact, so did one, brother. Because, yo, listen, we're talking about the second Exodus. Because, yo, look at us now, man. Yo, what these people out here say, oh, the black, if every so-called black person, Mexican, and all the people on this side would just say, man, listen, we're not working for you no more. We want to go to our Father. We want to just serve him. What the fuck is going to happen to this place? It's going to fall. You know? But the Lord is hardening his heart. But that's why the Lord has his servants out here to talk to you. To speak. Now we in Exodus. That's the first Exodus. And look, yo, you still speak about this Exodus today. That's an exit. That's the way out. What's your way out? Yahweh. Hashem Yahushai. And Yahweh never got up his throne. He sent his son. And he sent his prophets. So that's order. Yahweh don't never got to get off his throne because he's king. He created him. So why does he have to get off his throne? He doesn't have to. You just got to trust in him, man. I care about you so much because he sent his son. Just speak to him. Everything that goes on in your life, the Lord allowed that. And that's for you to call on him. Well, who you going to call on if you don't have his name? That's an honor. That's a glory. That's a gift. You know? Because a lot of these people, they can't call on nobody. They call on this name, that name. What's your Erica Badu? You better call Tyrone. Where's he at? They clone Tyrone. You know?
And just to land back on the brother, and Esau, Edom, and other heathen nations, what they want to do, they want to wear you out. You know? They want to starve you out. They actually, they hate you so much, they want you dead. So you don't speak anymore.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's how wicked they are in their heart. Because we fight for our nationality as the Israelites. Because we fight for our laws, statutes, and commandments that have been given to us. And that covenant that's been given to us. You know? But they want to, they want us to bow down to them. They want us to worry about what they believe in and to follow after them. You know, but as the brother said, hey, we put our trust and faith in Yahweh by Shemel Shai. And that's it. So you can do whatever you think you want to do to us, but you putting judgment on yourself. You heaping coals on yourself. And we're going to see in that day. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel.
That's right, that's what we're doing.
That they turn and encamp before Beharoth, between Migdol and the sea, over against Baal Zephon. Before it shall ye encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land. The wilderness has shut them in.
So that's when the Pharaoh was trying to chase us. So he still was on the tip like, yo, I still got him at the vision. I got him. That's a part of hardening the Pharaoh's heart. Even now. The men that guarded the Israelites and everything. What's the Pharaoh?
Why?
What's your Pharaoh going to tell you? You can't escape me. We can't. We can't. It already started in your mind. That's why I chose the revelation, man. Come about and have my people. My people. My people meaning the ones that truly believe. That's the elect. Every man has every man has a voice, so to speak. What voice are you going to hear? You know? The sheep want to hear is one voice. If you put a bunch of sheep together in front of a sheep herder, they're not going to hear your voice. They're only going to hear the sheep herder's voice. I don't care what you say. Even the dog and everything. Well, even dogs do something, but I'm talking about sheep. That's why the scriptures tell you. The Lord says, my sheep shall hear my voice. So every man that come and hear this doctrine, they're going to hear his voice. Everything. Trees, flowers, animals, air, sun, moon, clouds, they all hear his voice because he speaks it and they do exactly what he says. How much more you being the Israelite? That's how stubborn Israelites are, man. Because everybody want to be that guy. You think the sun be like, yo, I'm that guy? Nope. The Lord created it for a time, point, and seasons. And yo, and that's how you know too, because he could have put the spirit on the sun and be like, yo, I'm better than the moon. But he ain't do that. But he put it on you niggas. He created you last. You know?
And you know, with that poetry that you shared with this man, he made a poetry about if the Lord was to go on strike.
Exactly. So just imagine that. If he was to go on strike, yo, and then on top of that, like he knows your needs, he knows your wants, he knows all that. You think a piece of grass doesn't get taken care of in any land? When it rains, people complain about the rain. When it rains, that's the Lord said, yo, you need this. And everybody, I got wet. So what? You needed it at that time. All seasons and everything, the Lord has it mapped out perfect. You know?
It says, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh.
See that? Yo, so the Lord, like, he sent Moses to talk to Pharaoh and tell him, yo, this, and yo, that's going to like the Passover and everything too. So the Lord was like, listen, man, I'm going to send Moses, and Moses had family there. You know, any man has family, just like we have family now. So we want to tell our family, listen to what we're talking about in this book. You know, and a lot of family, they on that bullshit ass Christianity, Islam and everything. But we're telling you, and you can take a liking to your family, don't get it twisted. You know, if you love them, you grow with them. You got aunts, uncles, fathers, mothers, and everything. But if they're not on what this book says,
Yeah, be prepared to lose them too.
exactly.
Because you're not going to talk to them like you used to. You're not going to be around them like you used to, because they don't want to be around you, because they think you something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Right? They the minute you get off the phone with them, they calling cousin, uncle, so and so about what you talking about, and how supposedly crazy you sound.
Look what's going to happen to them. We'll be in. Look what's going to happen to them in the Exodus. Because we're trying to give them an exit. That's when you get an exodus, an exit. That's a way to escape. Your way to escape is something.
Right. That's how you know, again, this is a perfect gift, because it sounds like the most beautiful song you ever heard. You vibing to it. You right on the beat. And you try to bring that song back to other people, and they don't want to hear it. They can't hear it. It says, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them, and I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts, that the Egyptians may know that I am Yahweh. And they did so.
He said, I will be honored. What's that? Exodus what?
14:4.
Let's get that word honor real quick. Now, the word for honor, right, is yo, the Lord is all that.
Man, he's gonna make a name for himself
The
because of
Lord
what he's
is
gonna do
all that.
to these people.
Strong's H3513. Kavad. Kavad. Second entry. Kavade. Kavade.
I'm gonna play it again, just one more time.
Strong's H3513. Kavad. Kavad. Second entry. Kavade. Kavade.
So it's saying, kavod, right? Which basically means. Can you read that one more time, brother?
The book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 4. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them. And I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his hosts.
See that? And it says, I will be honored. So check it out. It says, to be heavy, be weighty, be grievous, be hard, be rich, be honorable, be glorious, be burdensome, be honored. To be heavy, to be heavy, by instant syllables, be dull, to be made heavy, to honor, to be the honor, man. So the Lord's showing me, like, you say something that's heavy, like a man that lifts weights, you can keep lifting. You got the strength up. And now you get to the last couple of reps, and you're trying to test your strength. And that's why you got a spotter, right, to be over top. So you trying, and then that shit hits your chest. That's the Lord dealing with, like, nigga, man, you fucking up. So you can't go past your strength. And that's what Pharaoh was trying to do, but the Lord gave it to him. Esau can't go past his strength. Y'all, we all in this place. We're all in Babylon. We're all heft up, so to speak. And that's why we all have to turn back to him. And that's the message. Every prophet always gave you the same message. Turn to him. You ain't stronger than him. And he told you the name. So anybody that's trying to run different names and all that, nah, boy, you full of shit. No?
I got a beard.
Look, right over there, bro. Look at that. We about to come, baby, bro. There you go.
Man, because it's wartime. It's wartime.
Ecclesiastes 3, 8, if I'm not mistaken. But keep reading, bro.
They said the honor from the grave.
Verse 5. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled. And the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving him?
See that? So they like, yo, look, rock it up.
Wow.
So now it's like, God, let you go. But now they looking, because, yo, that's how you know it's the Lord. That scripture that says, the Lord dwells in the king because, like,
The king's heart is in the mind.
yeah, that's it.
Oh, the king's heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's yo, because it's mine.
Yeah.
Because, yo, it's, the water, bro.
Okay.
The water. Because it's like, right there, the Lord was like, I'm going to let you go. Harden your heart before you want to let him go. Now I'm going to That's the scripture, though. That's the spirit. So now, once he leaves, right? He leaves. While your people leave, now you're like, damn. Just like with this, the prize. This is the second Exodus, modern day time, because it's like Donald Trump. Oh, I'm make America great again. We're gonna get the jobs back. And I seen the drawing with these Edomite women. They might have been chicks. They look like Edomite women. You know? No, nigger, da. Y'all taking all of my jobs and this, that. So somebody taking your jobs, and that's what Pharaoh thought. But once he let him go, he was like, oh shit, who's going to mine these fields? Who's going to build these pyramids? Who's going to do all that? Who's going to do it? So you gotta look at the Israelites, because whatever we put our hands to, when you go into the blessings and Deuteronomy the 15th chapter, right? Whatever you put your hands to is blessed from the rip. But the Lord, it is though you went off because you started serving other gods. Now the Lord like, yo, his hand is still blessed because he is a man of his word. The Lord is a man of his word. You can't take that away from him, man. You know? Everybody out here lied to. Every man that walks the street. That's why the scriptures tell you, let the words of the Lord be true, and every man found to be a liar, man. You know? What the brothers need is beautiful, because that lets you know that the Lord hardens Pharaoh's heart, and he can tell you, don't do this. And just like where we at in this captivity right now. The Lord says, look, where my people are right now on all four corners of the earth, on all four corners, they're slaves now. But when he takes that back because he spoke it, he's never going to lie. When he speaks it, it's for a point of time, it's going to be done. So now after that point of time is done, and he's so caught up in, yeah, I got these niggas in the prison, what's going to happen to you? You have no wins. Alright, so you don't got no wins.
And Mikasa. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing right to my head.
You got it, brother. Baba Prashad.
Huh, you want him to get that precept, the King's Heart?
Nah.
I got it.
It's TV.
Okay.
No.
I got it.
No.
Con, this is
That's
Baba.
the backup of what the brother said, because that's a beautiful point, and that's what the Lord. That's the Lord's words, man. And he shows you. That's why he tells you, man. He who have eyes, let him see. He who have ears, let him hear. You know, that's telling you, like the doctrines, but it lines up with everything that's happening right now. You know? No shit.
It's Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, Yahweh, as the rivers of water.
But that's like the Pharaoh, what the brother was reading. Who got hard enough? The Pharaoh was a kid.
Or change your mind that quick, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you went from, all right, we're going to let him go to, let's get him, right? That quick,
That's right.
you know?
And he was sitting, at the same time, he still was sitting on the stone like,
Yeah.
good evening.
Hey, just like they're saying peace and safety right now, well, it's saying there's sudden destruction.
Because they want people. That's good, brother. That's beautiful.
Hey, I had a lot of time on my hands the last couple of weeks.
That's beautiful. Because they really like that. Because they like, damn. You think they in the Exodus?
Right.
Exit us.
And you know what, if I may, because that's also the deceiver and the deceiver's his.
Yo,
So that's a transition of power.
God.
Because I was watching the House of David, the show, and and when you read about it, you know, they kind of changed things up a little bit. But when you read about it, because the first king was Samuel, right, before, but it was a transition of power for King David. But the Lord had Saul to disobey. Because he wanted to save the Amalekites. Because they went to war with the Amalekites before the Goliath, Goliath, which was the Philistines. But you know, and the scriptures say what? We shall war with Amalek from generation to generation. So it's coming to the point where the Lord is bringing them low, right? The whole world is looking at Babylon the Great as a laughing stock now.
Right.
You know, but they shall hate the Lord. Look what's going on with Europe. Look what's going on with these tariffs.
Yeah, their credibility is shot.
Right.
You know, because they've been shown to be hypocrites. They've been shown to be actually opposite of what they claim in terms of moral kingdom. They're so immoral, and every other country knows that, and is actually pointing it out.
Right. And you see when Trump came with the line of tariffs, with the percentage for each country.
Yeah,
And now all the countries like, no, retaliation.
same thing.
You know,
Yeah.
Satan against Satan. You know, how can his kingdom stand? So their kingdoms, their allies, they're all going to fall. That's why Yahweh Shai referred to as what? The King of Kings. You know? We're kings without a kingdom.
Right.
Because we're in captivity for our iniquities. But the Lord is preparing a table before our enemies' face right now. Setting us up. You know, bringing the word out. His words. His kingdom. And Lord willing, we partakers of that. Join the heirs. You know, to join heirs, other kings gotta fall. You know?
That's right. This place has to go down. This place has to be destroyed for the nation of Israel to rise, for the Israelites to be in rulership. You know? So the spirit is out here that this place is falling. You know, Babylon is falling, is falling. The spirit is on even people that are not in the truth. People are scared to death because they see what's going on in the world. People are literally scared. So that fearful spirit is out here in the entire world because of everything that's going on. But hey, what does the Lord say about his prophets? He doesn't give us a spirit of fear. Right? You know, and we pray for more faith, right? We pray for a more mighty spirit that we stand 10 toes down on these laws, statutes, and commandments. It says, verse 7, and he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Egypt and captives over every one of them.
Yo, and that's what Trump doing right now. He's trying to, he's chasing us.
Well, he sent several warships, more warships over in the so-called Middle East just this week.
That's right. So what is he
Yeah.
doing? What is he doing? And over there you got Israelites over there. But it's going to all trickle down. That's why Zelensky said what he said. Like, yo, y'all niggas, man, listen, Trump, you see, you're living in division, basically.
Yeah, he said you gonna feel it.
Yeah.
And that's why Trump said, "Don't tell us what we gonna feel.
Exactly.
Don't tell us what we gonna feel." He got
At
upset.
one point in time, and yo, they Ukraine was chilling. I remember working up there around them people, and they was like, yo, man, I couldn't even catch a flight out of Ukraine. They said I had to catch a bus to Germany then, and then wait and take another couple trips to get over here to Philadelphia. You know? That's all the Lord's work, man. Read that again, brother, 100%.
And he took 600 chosen chariots.
No, that's what they're doing. So they're gathering up their armies. I can do this. I've been had this. And Donald Trump, I'm telling you, I used to work down in Atlantic City at the Trump Taj Mahal. Donald Trump is a piece of shit. And I can sit there from working in this building. You know? That's why I can speak like that. Because I actually work for that nigga. He don't care about nobody but himself, man. And yo, he's known for Jake fights. He's a promoter of fights. Look it up for yourself. He's a promoter of fights, man.
Hey, just like they did in Rome, the arenas,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. So now what the hell you think? Yeah, he thinks, oh, because I'm in control of this and that. The Lord just piped you up, man. He piped you up to the fall. What you got to bro.
Ah.
That's what the scriptures talk.
And captains of every one of them. And Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And he pursued after the children of Israel.
Yeah, that's after he got released and he's still in the chases.
Right.
Just like now, not mentally, spiritually. We came up out of that state that we was in. Right? Now you're still in the pursuits. So I'll be like, yo, we know this, we know we're Israelites, we know this, that. Just leave us the fuck alone, man.
Right.
We're not bothering you.
Yeah. What's
So all
bothering
we
you,
wanna do
hey,
is
but
be
what's
left
bothering
alone.
you and what's tearing your heart out is the fact that we know who we are.
Exactly.
And you know your downfall is coming.
Right, so just leave us alone. And that's what you read right there. Just leave us alone. The true, sincere men just want to be left alone, man. Let us serve our power throughout history. All we want to do, because you know when we serve our power,
Oh, she wrote. Oh, she wrote.
because it's want to let you know, like, man, he turned back to scripture. Every prophet told you that. Every prophet, from Ezekiel to every prophet, Jeremiah, Micah, Isaiah, Ezra, Malachi, Obadiah. Y'all talk like, yo, cool out, man. Leave us alone. Daniel, the three holy children. They tell you, leave us alone. All we want to do is serve our power. But when we serve, and yo, our power is so merciful. He gave you your chance to rule. And our people so like they can't go. Long live the king. They came to give him a message. That's how I think of Jehoshaphat. When you go into 1 Kings, if I'm not mistaken, and it was the king of Israel, and he was like, yo, he said, I think they grabbed 400 prophets, so to speak. They was all prophets of Baal. But when they came to speak, I think it was Jehoshaphat. He was like, yo, is there any prophet? Basically says, is there any prophet Bashim Yamshah? Bashim Chabadash? And the king was like, well, you know what? But they was all prophesying smooth things. Jeremiah told you about. And then he said, you know what? He said, you know what, man? He said, I know a prophet. And I believe he was talking about, I just resumed it. I did a lesson. And he was like, Jehoshaphat was like, no, not Joseph. King of
You're
Israel.
talking about
Daniel?
King
You talking about-
Ahab, wicked king.
But he said, right?
That was during the time where they had the 450 prophets of Baal.
Yeah. But
King Ahab was the wicked king that was ruling at the time. When that woman,
Jehoshaphat was like this, right?
it was in Mount Carmel, in the time of Elijah.
This what he said to me. It's in 1 Kings. I'm mistaken. He said, after he got his 400 prophets or whatever, all prophets of Baal, he was like, yo, he said, I know a prophet. He said, but whenever he prophesies to me, he said, I hate him. Because he always prophesied wickedness to me, evil. That's how you know the prophets wasn't loved. They was loved and they was hated. But that man, the king said that. Yo, he hates him. But he hate him. He said he hate him.
Well, even during the time of Samuel, when he spoke and caused riots. And then when he came, they was like, oh, you're gonna tell us good news? You know? Which is good news, but not for everybody.
Right.
So that's why it caused uproars.
Hey,
Samuel was the first king before David. You know? But just like now, people want to fight, mock, scoff, put hands on you. They stoned the beloved apostle Paul. They stoned him. Going against the
Yo,
Christians.
1 Kings 22 and 8.
God. Hey, and this how you know how stupid Esau and the other heathen nations are, because anything that the Israelites touched, it basically turned to gold. They prosper.
King Midas touch.
You know what I'm saying? So we here in these dumbass jobs, right? We exceed expectations, but they're still so mad and still have so much hatred for us
But how
that they just want us gone,
But how did they get there? How did they get there? Without the hands of you.
right?
But that's a part of the curses.
Right.
Because when you put your hands in something, it's going to be blessed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anything you put your hands to is going to be blessed. But you just don't reap the benefits of it. Because
Yeah, they-
you're weak and weak.
But they're so stupid, they're reaping the benefits.
There you
And
go.
they that's what I'm saying. They're a
But
hatred.
that's heaping coals on
Right.
it. Brother, son of verse 1.
1 Kings 22.
Yeah, 22 and 1. Son of verse 1. The point is in 8. Because that's what the king said. You know? These niggas, listen, man. The Lord
They
is
put
doing
themselves
it.
in
He's
division.
doing it. He's hardening Pharaoh's heart right now. You just gotta rock with the Lord, man.
Hey, faint not, right?
Right.
We gotta
Come on now.
endure to the end.
That's right.
Don't get weary.
That's right.
It says 1 Kings 22. And they continued 3 years without war between Syria and Israel.
This is history, right?
Huh.
You
And
know
it-
what they're going through right now. They're
Right.
going to war, right? Now they're going to war, so this is like king. Because not right. Even to this day, right? You got Donald Trump. He's a he's an asshole. So his whole mindset is like, yo, I gotta get the top advisors. Who are the top advisors? Prophets of Baal. Now you want to bring in a real prophet? This is the man on the street, some people downplay your place. You don't want to hear that. That's the same thing with this king was going through right there. Go ahead, bro.
Huh.
Who wants to hear the downfall of the kingdom?
It says, and it came to pass in the 3rd year that Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, came down to the king of Israel.
It's Israelites.
And the king of Israel said unto his servant, know ye that Ramoth and Gilead is ours, and we be still?
So they like, I'm about to go take over these lands. Be still, don't say nothing. We got it. But what did the Lord say? What is his prophecy? What did his prophecy to me? You know? Because the king has a lot of pride on him, man. He has a lot of authority. And then you do have kings like King David, Malakawa, and the ultimate king guy, Howard Shai, is the ultimate example of humility and humbleness. And that's what we pattern ourselves after. Because we great, man. You see what he went through. Everything is written. You want to be like the house. Not saying you can be like him, but that's your pattern. You know? Anytime you want to get to another level, you hang around somebody that's already been to it. That's there. So you hang around them. How you get it? And they teach you. You know?
Huh. It says, and take it not out of the hand of the king of Syria. And he said unto Jehoshaphat, wilt thou go with me to battle to Ramoth Gilead? And Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, I am as thou art, my people as thy people, my horses as thy horses.
They was linking up. They like, yo, we going wrong with each other. And this is the plot. They're like, yo, this what we want to do. We got your homies, we got ours, boom. We riding out. But it's about to tell you. Look what happens.
And
Because
Jo-
you got one righteous king like, hold up. I see what you're saying. And this is actually telling you righteousness, man. Because he's like, yo, we can't ride out before we pray to the Lord, man. And whatever the Lord says, you gotta rock with that. I don't care who you are. No. You got it, brother.
And it says, Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, Inquire, I pray thee, at the word of Yahweh today.
There you go.
Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said unto them, Shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, Go up, for Yahweh shall deliver it into the hand of the king.
The Zedekiah fell into the same channel as this man right here, the king of Israel, because that's the northern king. You know, going from Ephraim all the way down. The northern, because you got the southern and the northern. The southern is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Then you got the southern is all of the Latin-speaking tribes. You know.
What he thought doing during battle?
But yo, he was like, yo, and watch what's it, because the prophets were hated, but they always spoke the truth. What's that song from 50 Cent? They can't hate it or love it, the underdogs on top. Yo, hate it or love it. We're the underdogs, but we on top because we're telling you the truth. We ain't lying. You want to kill us, you want to put us to death, do it. Why are you dragging your feet? Because you know what we're saying is the truth. And you know once you do it, the consequences of that, because it's written. It doesn't change. What the fucking weather? Got it, brother.
And it says, And Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of Yahweh besides, that we might inquire of him? And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man, Micaiah, the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire of Yahweh. But I hate him,
See that?
for he doth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil.
Come on, now.
And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say so.
See that? Jehoshaphat was like, hold up. You got who? Micah. He said, what? Hold up, we gotta talk to him. You bought, and this how you know your significance in this word and in this truth. Alright? You gotta be willing to, like, if you believe the Lord, you want to stand for him. It don't matter how many people around you. But it just said what? It was 400 fucking prophets. You know the prophets of Baal. Strength does not lie in numbers. Strength lies in the one that created you. And strength lies in your belief in him. That's what strength is. Strength is, yo, you know what? I can fight that. Look at Samson. Look how many people try to come against Samson. And he got busy. He wasn't on no nut shit, no sucker shit. He handled his business. Why? Because he trusted in the Lord. The Abashim outside, Bashim Hakadosh. And any man, that's how you know, because you got these things are written for you to understand it. They're written for you to look at it, for you to read it. So when you see a man that's talking about, yo, I need you and this, and I gotta be right, you can't come out here by yourself. At any given time, hey, I'm looking at this side. Fuck that. That's where your heart is. Where's your strength? What you really believe in. This ain't no fucking playground shit. This is life. This is salvation. And yo, that's what the king said. Yo, when the boy said, yo, the king of Israel, he's like, man, I hate him. Everything he said about me, I read that again, brother. And he said, you don't got nothing good to say about me because you wicked. So now if you was righteous, listen, it's the spirit.
Right. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man,
One man out of 400.
the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire of Yahweh. But I hate him, for he doth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, let not the king say so.
Let not the king say so. Don't say that. It's cool. Nah, yo, he told the fucking truth. That's why he was referred to. Because obviously, you get it, Ezekiel, that's how the prophet, there's a prophet of Moses and all that. Right? So he spoke. Everything he said came to pass. That's why he's like, everything he said about me is he was go. But everything that he said about him was
It's true.
exactly. That's why he said, yo, I don't even want to bring him up.
He didn't want to hear the truth.
But I need you to hear it.
Yeah. He didn't want to hear the truth.
That's why I said I hate him. Why you hate him? Yo, the Lord said it. He said, yo, man, if the world hates you, they hated me first.
Right.
That's why the Lord came to yo, they tried to kill Yahweh Shai when he came into the Roman captivity. You know, the prophesy he's a king, but the king was already Herod, right? Herod was in power then. But you are, he's like, yo, it's another king, but you're in power. You're so threatened about this king that's not even in power yet, but the kingdom already belongs to him. So you want to kill him, cut off his whole legacy. When his legacy and everything that he paid for was right there in front of him. That's what they always want to do to the men of Israel. They want to put you to death. They want to cut you off. They want to silence you from being in existence. And that's in our Proverbs, man. Let us cut them off from being in
Nation. You said that's a what?
Proverbs. That's not
Psalms 83.
Psalms.
Yeah.
Let us cut us off. No, grab that book and show me. Let us cut us off from being the people. They want to cut us off right now. Yo, if it was up to Esau, there wouldn't be none of us here.
Right.
That's why Obadiah tells you, the Lord's going to cut them off, man. But the hatred they have for us, man. I'm telling you, man, a brother that, a real true brother, they just want to be left alone. You just exist, man. You ain't bothering nobody. You just being who you are.
Right. You want to persecute us because we don't want to follow what you're talking about. How wicked is that? How hypocritical is that? We ain't worried about what you're doing.
Let us be.
Your wickedness, your wicked ways.
Let us be. No, let us be, man. Leave us alone. What the
Yeah, and that's the same spirit of King Antiochus. Where they was like obey the king's laws of the land. You know, he was killing all of our people that was rehearsing the righteous acts
Right.
at the time.
Yeah. Hey, what was written aforetime was written for our learning. So we know this is how they're going to act. That's how we know we're in this truth. That's how we know. Because you're treating us the same way you treated the prophets of old. You know? Spying out our liberties. We know that. But guess what? We also know you will not prosper in the end. And we're going to have the last laugh. So you may be mocking and scoffing and laughing and partying and giggling about what you did to a man of the Lord, but guess what? You're going to have hell to pay.
No, you what? Because the reason why they do
Judgment is coming.
that, and the reason why they do that is because, you know, it was given to
They had the power to
just
do
like
something right now.
You know?
Right now.
So they like, yo, we've been in division and messed up so long. They think they can just do it to everyone. And even men that come out here on the highways and they talk and everything. Pharaoh, showcase, I got the money, I got the resources. That's why I told you, go to them and go to Pharaoh, go to Egypt for help. They trust in the chariots, they trust in all that. And look, yo, bring that up, bro. Yo, God.
Book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their heads.
That day that hate, that's another one, brother. As far as like the prophets being hated, they don't. Ultimately, it goes back to your heart. They hate him because they wasn't chosen to be those men. But you don't understand. You don't have this understanding. I'm talking to the Israelites. They're all you other nations. Y'all mad because the Lord ain't chosen, but you had the power so you flow. Sometimes you find it's like a motherfucker put you in a car and you can hit the gas. Oh, you're like, oh shit! The power in this car is great. A V12 or whatever engine and everything you got in that car, right? But you can haul ass. So you're young, you're used to a fucking Volkswagen or some nut ass shit. You know, a Neon. They probably even make new cars anymore. No, but you're used to that. But when you get in the power seat, you don't know how to fucking act. That's why the Lord takes you through stages. Because you gotta be able to be like when your parents buy your first car. If you have parents that was like that, you get your first car. They like, bro, you gotta see how you act with this one first. Before you go, they might have upper class cars. But they like, how you gonna treat this one? That's what the Lord. We're his children. We are his children. How you gonna act with this little bit that I gave you? And I put you in division too. You know? It was amazing. You got it, bro.
It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That's what they want to do. They really want to cut you off. That's why they. Why you think they got the Amalekites up there? Trying to be you. So y'all fucking shit.
Man, they telling us that the Palestinians are the Amalekites, right?
Anything to get them off your back.
Yeah,
Get 'em off your
that's
back.
what they
like
say.
a nigga that's running for
Yeah.
himself. Oh, shoot, trying to change the clothes. Oh. And yo, somebody coming in the door and dog coming and everything. Yo, where is he at? Oh, it ain't me, bro. That's him over there.
Yeah.
Now they want to go crazy. That's Esau, man. Amalek.
Yeah.
They want the burden off their back, but no, you bought this shit. You can't run from it, man. You can't run from it. Because it's coming down the pipeline like a nigga. When he throw a jab, yakada. Straight down the pipe. And then you get hit with that, you bought that. Because he looking you right in your fucking face. But Esau, you can't dodge that, man.
We shall war with Amalek from generation to generation.
And that's the verse that the Jewish people are used against Palestine, saying that they're Amalek.
Nah, you know what? Because they're warring with their own selves. That's why you gotta know the scriptures. You have to know who you are. you don't know who you are, you'll believe that. And these Christians in the churches, they probably be like, oh yeah, well they're the Jews and this. You fucking dummy. You got Jakes in these Christian churches, and they got a Bible. It's a Bible called the what they call it, man? The Slave Bible. But they took out and everything in the Bible that they give to you. That's why these damn niggas, these dumb niggas, these Muslims, oh, it was a white man's book. Okay, because they took things out. And the scriptures tell you, if you read what's your own mind, that's where you get Nat Turner. You know? And he started teaching, they were teaching him certain things. But he read it for himself. He was like, oh shit.
Hey, at the end of the day, the Lord put in his spirit to know who
because
he
he
was.
couldn't read.
Yeah.
It was not permissible for a nigga to read. Because they know, like once you start reading, and it gets into your spirit.
Right.
Like, yo, and the Lord dealing with you.
Right.
You're one of his men. That's
right.
why they took us into captivity. You can't read this. You can't. They don't, because they know.
Yeah.
When you start reading, going back to the Moors and everything like that, those men read. But it was just a time for our faults and everything that we did. And even the men that was over here in this land, why do you think this land is getting taken down? This is the latter end of the earth. This is the latter end of the earth. Solomon came here, he did dealing with people here, so he know people was here. Why do you think the 10 tribes came over here? Because they knew about it. Don't teach you that in school, man.
No.
But yet they teach, oh, they discovered it. Yeah, well, if they discovered it, who was here first?
Right. I discovered something that's already inhabited. Dummies.
Exactly.
That's why we know you're the basis of men.
Exactly.
Because you have one of the Moorish kings, I forget his name, he made trades with the natives that was already joining him. He didn't say he discovered it.
Right. They said King Solomon was sending, you know,
Yeah, all
He was
different type of
making shit,
animals.
yeah.
moving things back
Gold,
home.
peacocks,
Right.
Solomon, yeah.
Right. You know?
There's things that's indigenous to certain places.
Yeah.
And this is the latter part. So they like, that's why King Solomon, he had the wisdom. So they're like, damn, where you get this animal from? Yo, chill.
Yeah.
This is me.
And they,
I'll have my mans and them go grab you on the TV.
yeah. And they know where the 10 tribes went, because you know there was.
It's written, brother.
Yeah.
It's written,
Yeah.
you know?
But I'm saying, just King Solomon knew where the 10 tribes went. Like the Israelites, the northern kingdom knew where the southern kingdom knew where the northern kingdom went.
That's right.
That's why they went and did some trades and stuff like that with
That's
them.
right,
You know, at that time.
But
Come on,
it
they
just wasn't-
found
it just wasn't common.
Right.
So all they teach you is, oh, well, this, we, no. Earth the pants, well, I ain't gonna say pants, all that shit. No, with Noah, right? When everything happened, Noah ended up on the border of Turkey, Armenia, all that over there. That's where
Art.
the ark there. And there's proof of that. Just like whenever you somewhere, wherever an Israelite is at, true believing that no, you always leave like, yo, where you get graffiti from? Niggas graffiti shit.
On the wall.
So
Right.
you know who was there.
Right.
And they tagged their name up.
Right.
And you like, oh, yo, the boy, they get personal with that. Yo, even with the pyramids and that. On the top you had the hieroglyphics with the Egyptians. And on the bottom you had the Israelites writing on there doing the same thing, but they're putting it in their life.
Right.
Showing you, yeah, people see we did it. And that's
Yeah.
the basement. So the Lord can take you from the basement to the top. And you really choose these motherfuckers.
There's no new thing under the sun in terms of what we do and what we did. You know? It's the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
Yeah, so yo. Damn, it doesn't care. That's the spirit.
It's the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
Right, so in due season, it's a reward coming to the elect. Believe that. It's a reward coming to the elect. If you faint not. Let's say, I believe that's one of the laws. You faint not. You're not supposed to be a man out here that just got married. You know, because when you come to war, you just got married, you pop your home and out, and when you get on the battlefield, you're gonna be thinking about that. So that takes your thoughts off of what you're doing.
Well, you're in a loving spirit,
There you
right?
go.
When
When you
you're
at
out of that
war,
spirit of war.
When you at war, what you supposed to think on? What if he hit me this way? If he hit me this way? You supposed to be on your every way. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, like a boxer. Any boxer right now, I'll tell you, when it's time to fight a fight, they're not getting no pussy. They're like, man, fuck that. But no, pussy's good because that's what you're supposed to. You're procreate. You're supposed to feel good to have children, but it's discipline. That's why the Lord gives us holy days and everything. Certain holy days you can do this. Certain holy days you can't do this. You gotta fast. You gotta do all that. That's discipline, man. You know. That's real discipline. That's universal discipline, if you will. Because, like, when you come up as a child, and when you get older, you're like, oh, I don't gotta answer nobody. And then you realize, oh shit, I really do. Oh shit. You're always gonna have to answer to somebody. And that shows your humbleness, your weakness. But the meek shall inherit the earth. And who the meek gotta answer to? The humble. Bashi B'chakadas. There's no getting around that. But for you to understand that concept, put yourself underneath of that, a humble dude puts yourself underneath of somebody. Because you understand the order and the dynamic. How things set up. No? Look at your whole body. If you look at a body and then go to these doctors here, you're on triple campus and all that, right? How many different doctors that you have on this campus for each member of your body? Think about that. But you're a doctor, so you're supposed to know something. But you might be a heart doctor, so you give me medicine. So I'm taking this, now my liver's fucked up. Now I gotta go to a liver doctor because they specialize in that. But the Lord is the author of the whole body. No member is sick. Because if a member is sick, sayonara. Fuck out of here.
Got another precept though from Galatians 6 and 3. For if any man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself.
There you go. Matter of fact, what's that?
Galatians 6 and 3.
Now let's get that word nothing. That just popped out of my head. It says 63, right, brother?
Come.
Because you got a lot of brothers saying, I'm nothing, I'm nobody, I'm this. So if you was nobody, who's all that? Why the Lord gave you scriptures? It's for you to come back into the body. Galatians 63, right?
Come.
Let's see God that word. Clarification. this is the word. Nothing.
Strong's G 3367. May dice. May dice.
Dice. Right? It says nobody, no one, nothing. No man, nothing, not anything. It says they dice not one man, one thing. Any man thing. No man. This is such a same thing. And now you gotta think about Yahushua. Yahushua never called himself nothing. Never said I'm nobody. The reason why the Bible is something like that, look at Apostle Peter. First in command, speaking to King David. Through the reincarnation of the Spirit. He said, yo, they want to go persecute him and put him to death. The same man that denied him 3 times, he said, I'm not even worthy to die like him. Why was he saying that? I can see a man say I'm nothing but that. I ain't nobody, I ain't like him. Just say that, I'm not like him. None of us is. We pattern ourselves after. That's your goal, man. That's your goal. Look around you. These niggas that kill each other, and they put their best mans in jail, and they're loyal to the wrong things. If you're not loyal to your Bashim outside, Bashim al Kakadas, what are you doing to? Straight like that.
You got something?
Yeah, quick precept. The book of Ecclesiasticus, known as Sirach, chapter 3, verse 18. It says, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Lord. Yahushua he was made a little lower than the angels. You know, the spirit created, became a servant for our sakes. You know, so we're servants, we're vessels. You know, we're children, we're princes of the power. You know, we might not feel like that, you know, in captivity. You know, but that's like the mind playing tricks on you as well. Yeah, we go on, but we also striving for that perfection, that salvation. You know? Because what the brother May mentioned, I believe it's in Proverbs where it states, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So that energy prevents you from saying negative things like that. You know? It's like when you sing negative songs. You know? But the greater thou art, the more humble thyself. You know, Yahushua is a great man. You know, throughout his reincarnations.
Hey.
He humbled himself.
Yeah. Hey, you think about King Solomon, right? What did he want? He wanted more wisdom. He didn't want more power. He didn't want more riches. He wanted more wisdom. And we know what wisdom is. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. Praise ye the Lord. But great men are wise. And with that wisdom, they're humble.
Yo, you know what, bro? If I may, that's a beautiful point. Because King Solomon that came through a dream. You know? That was your house. to like to deal with like all the prophets, man. You know, like these people. Like I always say, I make the face hard against their faces. To come out here and to speak to these people, you really gotta understand your people. You gotta understand. First of all, you gotta understand your own people. Understand that. And now you're able to speak to other people because when you speak to them, you're like, yo, I'm going through the same thing you're going through, man. On all levels, man. On all levels in life. Everything from the highest to the lowest. That's why Yahweh Shai was put like that. Apostle Paul told me that, man. I know how to be a beast. I know how to be this. I know this. I know that. Because how does he know that? Unless he went through that. You know? These people, they can't do that because everybody one mind solid. You don't think with this much in your fucking brain. You learn the Lord is opening all that up. This is crazy. You don't trust in the Lord, they don't believe. That's you gotta all be like that. Man of the Lord, and I always tell you, brother, people respect actions more than words. We out here speaking, so people don't respect us. That's all they don't respect us. You know? Yahweh Shah came speaking, he came in the flesh. To show us, they're not going to respect us the same. But I ain't going to come back and bring a judgment. Then they're going to respect you. They're going to respect him. My Father, Abba Nawa Yahweh, our Father. You can sit out here all day and talk. We're going to respect it, the ones that believe it. The ones that don't, so be it. We ain't out here for it. This message strictly for the elect. First and foremost. Anything after that, you're gonna listen to those men. Just like those men, listen to Yahweh Shai. Because it's 70 men, I believe it was Ezekiel, if I'm not mistaken, that put him up in the cave. No, 100. It's 50 and 50. 50 in one cave, 50 in another. It's a fact check, so I ain't tripping. But he put him up. Why did he do that? That's how precious they were. Or hard. It's like you, bro. What you do? Brothers, like, you don't gotta speak about all that. But that's the first thought that came to my mind when the situation first happened. Was this right here. I never told you that. I'm telling you now. I tell you, he that receives the proper, I'm not saying, like, you can't boast yourself, you can't get too high on the highway. You gotta always remain humble. But you can't speak on things for an example for brothers and everything. And that's like you boast another man, you don't boast yourself. Right now, I'm boasting this brother.
Hey, the water Yahweh Shem Shai.
That's real talk. God said it out my mouth. That's real talk. Right out here. Yeah, bro.
It's 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 4. For
Start at
it,
verse 1.
1 Kings chapter 18, verse 1.
Substance.
And it came to pass after many days that the word of the Lord Yahweh came to Elijah
See that? There you go.
in the 3rd year, saying, Go.
That, it came to pass. And the Lord always said, because, yo, like, if you a prophet, Like, brothers get dreams, they get visions, everything, man. You like, you want that all the time. You like, yo, Lord, keep that spirit on me. That's what King David was like, man. You know what I mean? So it's like, so when, like, you might not get a vision for days, whatever, years, whatever. Been in this time, but like now you're going to lot of things. But when you don't get them, you're like, Lord, are you still dealing with me? That's why everybody on the side. You know? Dude, that's kings. That's a king. Prophets prophesy to kings. But you got kings that's, you know, that's prophets. Number one, Yahweh Shai.
Bro, you can
Number
tell
two,
by who was doing
Malak the
it.
Wise, King David.
Yeah, if you were doing it, you would know you did.
Moses, kings. That's Malak the Wise. But yeah, you know, that was the first king. You know? And yo, when you look, man, that's so decent because the Lord, yo, Yahweh Shai, he came with the ship on Mount Sinai, turned that John, brought Moses up, which was King David, though. Let's talk about it. Let me give you the law, statutes, and commandments. 613 law, statutes, and commandments, bro. He gave you 613 law, statutes, and commandments to put there. You better follow these. But you know, when you go into this land, you're not going to be able to follow to the T. But I gave it to you. Trust me. All you got to do is trust in the Lord. If you don't trust in the Lord, what are you doing? It wasn't meant for you to trust him. You can't be mad at you. Everything on this planet, from the smallest to the greatest, from the greatest to the smallest, has a job. Even a gnat has a job. So you're gonna look at that gnat like, oh, you ain't you ain't nobody. No, you still got a job. You gotta do it. But the pride to make you think that you're better than that, fucking do that. Because you got people that want to come in the fold last minute.
It says, go, show thyself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth. And Elijah went to show himself unto Ahab, and there was a sore famine in Samaria. And Ahab called Obadiah, which was the governor
See that?
of his house.
Obadiah. See that? Now you know Obadiah. That prophesied against
Esau, Edom.
and he had one chapter in the book.
Right.
About the destruction of Esau.
Come on now.
Right.
So what's to say that he's insignificant? But when he spoke, he did his job. You bitch ass nigga, I'm gonna let you know. Because the Lord gave him that, and he came right at the king. Nigga, stop playing. This how I'm coming. And that shows you the mercy of the Lord. Because Obadiah, you got one, but it's so great. Because the Lord at that time he was tired of this shit. But he sent you to come speak. You know what? I'm just gonna let you talk. Yeah, after that, I'm gonna get him out of here. You know? That's what he does, man. And it's coming a time like right now, yo, the Lord is about to erase this place. Because yo, brothers been out here so long, and even the brothers that's just coming out here and start speaking, blessed is you, man. Just believe. Because the Lord is going to do it real fast for you. You got our brothers that have been out here for years and years and years. It's still in it's a short time, but that's the talent of the king. What you're working for. What are you working for? You're working for first of all for your foundation and for your kingdom, which is Yahweh's kingdom, which is Yahweh's kingdom, which is to come. Which these people can't see that.
says, Salak, it says, verse 3, and Ahab called Obadiah, which was the governor of his house. Now Obadiah feared the Lord greatly.
You see that? Obadiah feared the Lord greatly. And the governor of his house. So what's the governor? That's controlling. And no, it just told you. He feared the Lord greatly. Every prophet in this book feared the Lord, man. Because if you don't fear the Lord, what do you fear? Niggas fear a gun, that's your guy. Yo, the Lord he basically conquers everything that you can see in your face. Death. He conquers death. And that's all Esau can tell you. I'll do this, I'll kill you if you did this. All these niggas are scared the fuck. And me, I hope the Lord keep his spirit on me. If I gotta face it, I just ask for that spirit. I'm a man. I'm flesh and blood. I ain't no tough guy. You know? I'm a man. I cry. I bleed just like the next man. I got thoughts. I got problems. I got everything just like the next man. I just ask for a righteous spirit and that time which we're coming to overcome it. Just like Yahweh Shai.
Verse 4, but it was so when Jezebel cut off the prophets of the Lord Yahweh, that Obadiah,
Bitch.
it says, that's why you took him into the cave, because they was trying to kill him. It says, it says that Obadiah took him 100 prophets.
Obadiah. Damn, see that?
He did that, and that wasn't even
In one chapter.
written in his own book. That he
He
read.
took 100. Because it was up to him.
That's right.
He took 100 prophets, man. Yo, that's like writing 100 books. Not even that. You don't even know how many books that prophet could have wrote while he was in there, man. But he was like, yo, you're a prophet. 500? No, 100.
Yeah, that's it.
I got you. To protect, no, keep reading, bro.
Yeah, that's
Keep reading, bro. To protect them, man. That's why the Lord said, man, no, come up in my chambers. When he delivers you out of here. That's how you know you delivered. That's how you know you saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. But you goddamn Christians want to talk that bullshit. You ain't saved, you're not sanctified, and you full of shit. When the Lord, you got that ticket, you get up out of here, then you know.
It says that Obadiah took 100 prophets and hid them by 50 in a cave and fed them with bread and water.
Yeah. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16.
Right.
And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is a number of a man, and his number is 666.
So you every week tell you the same thing. The message don't change. Rulerships change. But you coming into a rulership which is never going to change. words that we tell to you never change, and they're always faithful and true because it's the truth. Whether you believe it or not. Like the brother Rob always said, whether you believe it, like it, understand it or not.
Whether you like it, believe it, understand it or not.
This will be about.
Right, God.
But it's the truth. The Lord is never change. It doesn't change. You got it, bro. You got it.
Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. Number 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, that when any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he
Yo,
shall
just pour it out without mixing. So like you motherfuckers going to the bars and all that. You want to mix drinks? Nah. Listen, like the first time I ever drank 151, how that burned was, I said, God damn, I don't even never want to take this shit. That's going to be your cup. That's your cup. It's going to burn. Rightfully so. Because what you did to the children. Not just his children, his chosen children. CC. Chosen children. The CC effect. Because our children, it's like, yo, Satan is a child of the Lord, but was he chosen? Yeah, he was chosen for a reason and a purpose. But for the kingdom, what we're talking about, CC. Matter of fact, it's a called angel. CAC.
Right, 'cause it says many are called, but few are chosen.
It says, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name.
Yo, just said that in the presence of them, it's like, yo, you a wild boss, do some bullshit to a wild homeboy, whatever. The boss, you got the underboss, your house shall be the underboss. So he can call shots. So he do some nut ass shit. And he can be like, yo, man, you know what? Summons, bring him here and fill him. And you torture that nigga right in front of you. That's your house, I mean. He's going to get up with hands on you. Your Howard, you don't never got nothing to do, but all you do is call shots. Him. They all get it. But these men out here think that there's somebody that think that they're more family. You're going to find out. Real soon who's in the truth. But we've always been in the truth. And we always been telling them. Straight up. No bullshit, no lies. You want to believe in your gods? Call on them in that day. Because it's not going to save you. It's like you had what Ramadan just ended. All this whole block was full of the Muslims and they out here fighting and all this that. Every fucking year. And I was like, damn, that's judgment on them. Because they always want to come out smiling. Y'all niggas is ratchet. Y'all crazy. That you trust in the wrong God. The wrong power. And your time with all that bullshit, beautiful Christians, and everybody that believe in anything other than Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua, because it says in the book of Proverbs, I believe it's in the 26th chapter, who ascended and descended. What is his name? Matter of fact, I'm let you know, man. Y'all niggas. Niggas is cool. Your time is coming to you. That's it. 30. It's a lot. Proverbs chapter 30 and 4. It said 26, so forgive me. I know it's a Bible. This is Proverbs chapter 30 verse 4. It says, who hath ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who have gathered the wind in his fist? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name? If thou canst tell. And yo, real soon you're gonna want to know the name. Allah ain't do all that shit. Buddha ain't do all that shit. Krishna ain't do all that shit. Yahweh Shah did everything. I don't mean shit. So forgive me. You know? But the Lord is, those men that believe in him, same things that he did here back, because you never saw that now. People depend on pharmacies, money, everything is money, man. That's why the Lord said, render to Caesar what is Caesar's. What is the Lord's? Everything. So hell with this place, because it's going down. And if you really, they teach you that in our school, they tell you, oh, the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire. They tell you all that history in school, but where do they put you niggas at? And you're in there. Heck, all of that. But you in there. But they want to teach you the greatness of their kingdom. And of course, they did that in Alexander's time. They did that in Rome's time. But what you have to understand, you gotta read the book for yourself. The Lord's willing, this was edifying. We got some louder. So next week, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostle, the elders, and bishops of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect. To the next week, we're going to see from Wafa Baba Ball.
Wafa Baba.
Kwam Yashalom.
Kwam Yashalom.
Shalom. Oh shit.